Maybe you know how to line them up and knock them down, but do you know how to play games with your dominoes? In this video, we'll cover how to play Muggins, also called All Fives, and Mexican Train with your Double Six and Mexican Train domino sets. In your Double Six domino pack, you'll find 28 Double Six color dot dominoes and 1 starter piece. In your Mexican Train pack, you'll find 91 Double 12 color dominoes, 9 plastic trains, 1 score pad, 1 starter piece, and 1 aluminum carry case. Let's get set up. These high-quality domino tiles have dots, or pips, that tell you the value of each piece. The colored pips are a simple way to distinguish each number. First, lay your dominoes face down and mix the pieces around. Each player draws the required number of pieces for their game. Set the rest to the side. The remaining pieces face down are called the boneyard. Depending on which game you're going to play, you might need those. The most popular dominoes game with the Double Six pack is Muggins. You need 2 to 4 friends for this one. Grab your pals and get ready to play. With all dominoes face down on the table and mixed up, every player draws 7 tiles from the pile. Move the boneyard aside to make room for the gameplay. The lucky player with the highest double starts the game and places their domino in the center of the table. If nobody has a double, the player with the highest value domino, the most pips, starts. Sorry if you're to the left, because play moves to the right. If the lead domino is a 6-4, 5-5, 5-0, 4-1, or 3-2, the player scores, since the domino is evenly divisible by 5. Plays can be made from both sides and ends of the first double, providing 4 different spots where you can score points. The next player lays down a domino, matching the pip total on any end. If they can't lay down a domino, they draw from the boneyard until they get a playable piece. Hot tip: you can draw from the boneyard even if you have a tile that can be played. Players then take turns, laying a matching domino on one of the endpoints. By the way, both halves of a double are counted when adding up the sum of the endpoints. But if you want to win, listen up. You only score by making ends total 5 or a multiple of 5. It could look like this. If you make a 5, you gotta call your points out on the play to get those points. But be careful, if you forget, any opponent can call Muggins and take the points themselves. Now that's how you make some enemies. A player laying down their last domino calls out, "Domino!" Now all other players count the pips on the pieces remaining in their hands, and the total scores from all other players' hands go to the player who called Domino. The loser, player with the lowest total number of pips scores the total number of pips in all opponents' hands combined, minus the number of pips in their own hand. Mark down everyone's scores and play again. The first player to score 100 points wins. Ah, sweet victory. Now, all aboard the Mexican Train. Here's how you play this popular Double 12s domino game. With your dominoes face down and mixed up, draw your tiles. How many? That depends on how many people you have playing. With 2, 3, or 4 players, draw 15 dominoes each. With 5 or 6 players, draw 12. And with 7 or 8 players, draw 11 each. Let's play. The youngest player goes first, and the game moves to the right from them. Player 1 places their highest double in the center. If they don't have a double, play moves to player 2, and so on until somebody can lay down a double. Nobody has a double? All players take turns drawing dominoes from the boneyard until someone draws a double. Starting with the player who placed the starting double, or the engine, everyone now starts to build a single row of dominoes, starting from the double in the center and extending towards them. This is your train. You want to match your first piece to the pips on the engine. On your first turn, you can lay as many dominoes as you want, as long as they form a valid train. If you've got a good draw, that's a pretty good first move. If you're less lucky and can't start your own train because you don't have a domino matching the center engine, leave a marker train on your spot where your train would have started. In the next round, other players will be able to play a domino in that spot to start a train. As long as your train has a marker, Don't even think about playing on your own train. That is not allowed. You can only play elsewhere. After everyone has had a turn, each player now plays just one domino per turn, unless that domino is a double. More on that later. A few ground rules. Each player has to play a tile on their turn if they're able. You can't draw from the boneyard if you have a playable tile. If you have no playable domino on your turn, draw once from the boneyard. If you still can't play, place your marker on the last tile of your train, if you have one. Play moves to the next player. If you can't play and the boneyard is empty, place your marker on your train. If one is already on your train, just leave it. Sorry, your turn is over. The Mexican train is a special additional train anyone can start from their second turn onwards. It just has to start with a single domino that matches the engine. Your goal to win this thing is to be the first player to get rid of all their dominoes. Now, let's talk double domino plays. When you lay down a double, you have to make another play on that double, if possible. If you can't, draw a domino from the boneyard. If the domino can be played, play it. If not, place a marker on your train, unless you already have one there. Your turn is now over. The next player is forced to play on the double you just laid down. If they can't, they have to draw once from the boneyard. If it still can't be matched, that player's train also gets a marker. Yikes! Continue this until someone plays on the double. Players with a marker can play a drawn tile only to satisfy the double. Look at the chaos you just caused. Nice job. There are some exceptions to the double requirement. When the double to play on is the last domino of its number. Or you play a double to remove the marker from your own train. Or if the double is your last domino, the game ends. Way to go, champ. As soon as one player is out of dominoes, the game stops. That player receives 0 points and bragging rights. Total the dots on all the remaining dominoes in your hand. The player with the lowest score wins. For a fast-paced game, use either double 9 or double 6 dominoes. Draw an appropriate number of dominoes so at least a few are left in the boneyard. And those are just a few of the games you can play with your dominoes. Thanks for watching.